Hello listeners and welcome back to our podcast, Compost and Air, brought to you by Compost Air, Christmas edition.
Merry Christmas.
So today we're going to be continuing our conversation on our proposed composting plant just outside of ATU Sligo. And we've provided information packs to all viewers, but don't worry if you haven't received them yet. We're going to be giving you a brief overview now. Our composting plant is going to be used from the waste from the canteen in ATU Sligo. It's going to be brought over to the facility just outside of it, near the other campus. Our inside facility is going to be 550 metres squared and our yard is going to be 1,050 metres squared. Transport is going to be so easy just because it's across the road. It's going to be minimal transport, minimal emissions. And also we're going to have a road into it and out of it, so it's a simple process for the trucks to come in and out. And also we're going to give our compost to the community to broaden the biodiversity of Sligo town and also just to give back. So our segment for today is going to be questions that you viewers have kindly sent us all in. And we're going to be answering some of the public's worries and questions about our compost facility. So our first one today is coming in from Collage. It is, as a concerned member of the public, I would like to know if I should be worried about the short-term or long-term effects on your health that the emissions and odours from the compost facility might have on me or my family. How can we be so sure? That's a great question, Colette.
Great question,
Yeah.
Colette. Well, basically, you and your family have nothing to worry about, you know. Colette's family's all safe. There is associated health impacts with composting facilities, yes, but we have to think the scale of our one is very, as we've seen, very small in comparison. Like the one in, I think, Mead, Littleton, the college, maybe 10 times as big. So the likes of them operations, yes, you would have sort of for your vulnerable groups like your elderly or your newborns, but the likes of our one here, there'll be little to no impacts. And I think we discussed last time about the monitoring. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there would be full monitoring.
Yeah, like biofilter.
So the next question is coming in from Peter, and he says, in what ways can a composting initiative create jobs or support local economies around Sligo?
Well, Peter, I'll answer that one for you. It creates like a lot of jobs for the community. Like we'll have sales, operationals, you know, the mechanical parts of the composting, selling to local farmers to be part of the sales. There's also transportation, which is transporting the compost, and that creates a lot of jobs in itself. And it also supports the local farmers because instead of like using synthetic fertilizers and stuff like that, we can use the organic fertilizers instead, which is not only like healthy for us, but it's also cuts costs for local farmers and in general. It creates skills for the community as well through learning how to use machinery, how to sell like in sales and transportation. And by diverting the organic waste away from landfills, we are going to be using it in a composting facility instead. Yeah. Which means we'll be cutting costs in that there, and it helps with the organic waste problem in landfills. And it also, since it's cutting so many costs, it means we have a lot more money to spend in our community and for community projects.
Yeah. The next question that we're going to be answering is from Jenny Aronhold. The question is, hi there. Sligo town has a lot of native wildlife. Could noise from this composting facility harm the wildlife or any of the protected areas around it? No, I actually seen a fox near the college today. Yeah. So there is wildlife all around.
Oh, yeah. There are definitely foxes, and I think there are bats as well, and lots of birds. But if we talk about the bats and the foxes first, I suppose they all run around during the night, so we wouldn't really see them, and I suppose lots of people don't even think about them. Yeah. But then when we connect that to the noise, there wouldn't really be any noise coming from the facility during the night because it's only operating from 9 to 5, I think. Yeah. So when the fox and bats are on that could be affected by the noise, there won't be any noise. And there'll probably be a bit of noise during the day, but that's just from the trucks coming to the facility and leaving it. And I don't think there will be much more than the road that is there already, because we've seen it on the map. There was Hamilton Road and the other roads. Yeah. So I don't think the trucks will really increase the noise level that much. Yeah. And then in terms of other protected areas around, there definitely are protected areas. But I don't think the noise would be such a big issue. More other pollutants like dust and greenhouse gas, and we should try to find out and monitor how far they actually travel. Yeah.
Our next question, it says, "Hi there, I'm really enjoying the podcast. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
I have a question about something that's been on my mind. I've heard that the composting can sometimes produce an unpleasant smell, and I'm curious about what exactly causes that smell. Is it something specific in the materials being composted, or is related to the composting process itself?" That was sent in by Bob Bergen. Thanks very much for your question.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah. I'm actually glad someone's asked that question because it comes with a lot of stigma, you know, the composting plants, all the smell.
Definitely.
Everyone thinks that the whole town's going to be stank up, like, you know. But no, it's not going to affect the local people. The only people it will affect is people that are actually in the plant, because it's all like sort of an indoor process. It's not, you know, it's not just going to be.
Yeah, just in that small indoor.
Yeah, no, so you wouldn't.
That's not even very big.
Like, you don't have to worry about it. And like, in terms of how the smell is created, it kind of comes from the type of food and all that you have in it. Like when the stuff's being composted, it gets compacted and it's wet, and then that creates anaerobic conditions, and anaerobic bacteria break that down, and that's what produces your smell. But see, there's a lot of other things like your meats and all that. That when that comes in, that's the smelliest stuff.
Yeah.
But there is, I think you were saying it one the episodes, was it the dry?
Oh, the dry organic matter.
Yeah, if you mix like straw and stuff in it, it kind of
Oh, really?
area, or it's like a 30-to-1 ratio you need for it.
Sucks up the moisture.
Yeah, and that's how you get the smell out.
Just on the gases, I'm actually going to link in the other question with it that was sent in just there by Katie Thompson. She said, "I've heard composting facilities release gases. What gases could be emitted, and will you be monitoring them?" That's a good question as well. Thanks very much, Katie.
Yeah, so there's a lot of gases that can be created, like your carbon dioxide, your methane, your hydrogen sulfate, you have your ammonia, nitrogen. They're all types of gases that could possibly be produced.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are from the anaerobic, which is like your methane and your hydrogen sulfide, like all them are from anaerobic, which is not what the plant is going to be. It's going to be an aerobic plant. Like you're not going to have them gases to be worrying about the water, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then for monitoring, you have things like your fixed gas monitoring systems, which can be placed or will be placed around vents and your vents and the compost piles and stuff, and like that gives you like real-time data. So it does. They're very helpful. And then you have your portable gas detectors. They're easy, so they can be put in hard to reach places. They can detect leaks, and they're very easy because they're handheld.
Yeah.
So they can just be in your hand all the time.
Yeah, there's so much technical things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you have your air sampling, which would be done in a laboratory. You can just scoop it up with a bag and send it off, and it gives you accurate readings.
Yeah.
So
it's easy as that.
It's easy as that.
Yeah. That was very well answered. Thanks very much, Keith.
Thank you.
So the next question is coming in from Jennifer. She says, "Hi Compost there, I'm enjoying watching the Christmas episode, but why should the public of Sligo Town want a composting facility, and how can the facility benefit local farmers, gardeners and green spaces? P.S. Jason is my favourite."
It has to be Jennifer Burden.
Has
to be, yeah.
Quite hard for that way, Jenny, but as we have mentioned, it will cut costs for the local farmers, which means we'll have more money for the community, but it also would help individuals, as it will be cheaper for them. So anyone who has their own gardens, they can benefit from their composting facility. Public spaces will flourish, like the fauna, the trees, and the overall garden spaces, like the parks, since the composting will help them, and it will help the overall aesthetic of the town, making it more welcoming and just nicer to walk around. And since it's locally sourced, it also make products cheaper, cut down on greenhouse gases, do less transport, and it will make Sligo greener again and more sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. So the next question that I have here is from, I think it's Maura Mullen. Moira, I'm not sure. She says, "Hey guys, was just wondering, can you do anything to reduce the impact on the surrounding environment?" I presume she means around the college and the hotel and the roads around.
Yeah, well, the buildings and
Yeah.
the roads, yeah. I think it's very important to look at what the college wants, because the college will be impacted by it, especially by the look of the facility. So it's important to have it aesthetically pleasing, and I suppose we will take care of that and make it look nice.
Yeah.
And then the surrounding areas, there's a car park there. There shouldn't be any dust going to the car park and dust being on all the cars. So we could put in hedgerows, and that's for the nature-based solutions.
Yeah.
We've done a whole other episode of that. And there's also legislative requirements asking the people who want the composting plant to do lots of assessments beforehand.
Yeah.
So there would be an appropriate assessment looking at the protected areas, and an EIA looking at the surrounding environment in general. So there will be lots of protection and mitigation measures.
Yeah.
And
Even when you're talking about the dust, most of the dust comes from the trucks coming in and out of the facility, but we will have them closed off, so like we'll minimise any dust going on the car park or anywhere around it really.
Into the neighbourhood.
So we have that taken care of. I think the last question for today we'll take from John Hoyne. John said, "Well lads, what's the plan for stopping the gases that you produce from getting into the sky?"
Well, to be honest, there's a range of different ways that can be stopped from happening. You have biofilters, which they're layers of organic matter that can that it would be made up of, say, like the compost that we're producing, or even wood chips that would have microorganisms that would break down the gases that are harmful. We have gas utilization, which is where the gas would be collected, such as, say, if methane, and then it would be sent off as a renewable energy source, which so like anaerobic digestion would be where it would go to. And then you have your nature-based solutions, as Tamina has said, like hedges and stuff, and like trees, they all act as natural biofilters, so they'd stop the spread of dust, the odor. They'd take in any of the carbon dioxide and stuff.
And also like more habitats.
Habitats would be a big one as well. So that's the way. That's like it.
That's answered there now for you,
Yeah.
John Hoyne. Thanks so much for sending in your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on our podcast. We are Compost there, and remember, stay green, start small, and we'll see you guys next time.